My name is Laura and I am currently living in Delft, a cute little city in the west of the Netherlands. You might have heard of it as the city of the famous painter Vermeer, or of Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the father of microbiology. But what am I doing in Delft? Well, I am carrying out my research as a PhD student from the Biocascades Project. In Biocascade, we combine research in the fields of chemistry, biochemistry, and biotechnology, focusing on the development of sustainable chemoenzymatic processes towards products with medical or industrial application. Within this project, I am hired by a small company in Delft called Viazym, that is specialized in enzyme research and immobilization. I work under the supervision of its founder, Luuk van Langen, and I have decided to interview him to find out more about his background and the company. Luuk,
Laura.
I think it would be interesting if you start by telling us how your university studies led to your actual position as the owner of Viazym.
Okay.
So, please tell us, what did you study?
I studied molecular sciences in the Agricultural University of Wageningen, which is a very broad R&D focused education. And in my last year, I did the research in the organic chemistry group, working with enzymes, where I made a product with enzymes that I characterized. And I remember that I was at that time very fascinated by this work, that I could make an actual tangible product using an enzyme.
Okay. And what did you do next after your end project?
Yeah, next after my study, I did a short temporary contract at DSM in Delft, already working with enzymes, making an enzymatic route to antibiotics. I liked the work there very much, but it was only 9 months.
Okay, but after that you started your PhD in Delft.
That's right. Yeah.
And in retrospective, what did this mean for your education and for your career?
Well, I have to say that when I started my PhD, I didn't know exactly what it meant, what I should learn, but already in the first year I realized that this was the only way to grow as a person, to be able to do innovative research. And so looking back at my time in DSM after my level after my study, I realized that I knew very little, and the PhD gave me all the opportunity to grow as a scientist. Yes.
And after your PhD, you decided to start a company. How did this idea develop?
Well, this has a long history. Because already, let's see, what the PhD. Before my PhD, I realized that it would be very handy to be able to offer projects on a private basis, not to be depending on someone to give you a job. So I always thought it's important to do something like that. And also we had in that time the opportunity to visit a lot of companies as an academic group, and there we got really practical questions, like, can you make this compound with enzymes? And then I thought, oh, this is a real concrete demand that I can meet, because I could make those compounds. So yeah, that early wish, and also the notice that companies were interested practical enzymatic routes encouraged me to start something independently.
But starting a company in the chemical industry requires expensive materials and infrastructures. How did you manage this?
Yeah, Laura, you're right. It's not starting in a consultancy business behind your desk. You need a dedicated place, you need a lot of material. But I can say that if you know what you need and you have technically, you have some knowledge, I was able in a few months, with a lot of effort, I had to travel a lot, to visit a lot of people, to collect all the items that were necessary to do my basic work for the first project.
And did it work out in the end?
Well, it's already more than 10 years ago that I did that startup, and it's on this moment I can make my living from my business, and I see many possibilities to go further.
But you have experienced both academic and industrial world. Do you see important differences between them?
Well, very practically, the work that I'm doing on a daily basis doesn't differ a lot from what I did at university. I work in the lab, and if you look at the academic work, what I did, basically you also have to sell your work in the form of publications. You have to work hard. So this idea, I think, is quite equivalent to industry.
And talking about your own industry, it surely takes courage to start a company. What would you recommend to other young researchers that might want to take this big step?
Well, first of all, I think all PhD students have to take the maximum out of the PhD time. It's time that's given by them from society, and they have the choice to use it or not to use it. And then they have to see whether they like to work hard and if they can really deliver new things, reports, if they're able to deliver a product. When that answer is yes, then I think that nowadays, with it changing in the labor market, where people, young professionals, have to face the fact that there is not one employer anymore that will give them a job for their lives, they have to sell themselves. That will be the trend, and also for scientists, I think it's exactly the same.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience with us, Luuk.
Thank you, Laura. It was a pleasure.